When I was a kid, I was a huge fan of the Dodge Viper because where styling and specifications were concerned, it was insane. Now, I was never a huge fan of the Porsche 911 because I always thought they were kind of boring to look at and not so special. Then I got to drive a 911 Carrera a couple of years ago. Still a $100,000 car, but nothing particularly enormous as far as Porsche 911s go anyway. But this one is a little bit different. This is the 911 GTS, and it's a special version of the 911 Carrera that intends to be the sportiest Carrera model in the lineup. This is as athletic as the 911 gets without going into the Turbo Series or the outrageous GT3 factory race car lineup. You can get all-wheel drive, a paddle shift transmission, and even a convertible. This coupe got the 6-speed stick and rear-wheel drive. Perfect. With white paint, black wheels, red brakes, and that trademark Porsche 911 bubble butt body, this 911 GTS is terribly sexy. Don't miss the quad pipe exhaust or deployable rear spoiler. Drivers can control that spoiler alongside the stability management, suspension, and sport mode with these buttons. There's even one that makes the exhaust louder, which is sweet. Elsewhere inside, you'll find plenty of gauges, a big center-mounted tack, and a simple, concise, and focused control layout. Suede trim racing-style seats are comfortable once you settle into a driving position that leaves your backside just inches from the road. Suede wraps the steering wheel, shifter, and armrests, which actually double as storage compartments. There's also a sport chrono lap timer for when you visit the track. This is as sensible as a street-legal track weapon's probably ever been. Despite the cruel intentions this machine has for your driver's license, it's sensible enough to use every day. Easy enough to board and exit, easy to park, good visibility, and not even terrible on fuel. In fact, as 400-plus horsepower sports cars go, it's actually very reasonable on gas. So what's under the hood? Just enough room for my cleaning kit, gym bag, and camera bag. The 911 GTS does have a back seat for a few more items, since they're pretty much useless for anyone with legs or a head. Getting out of the rear seat is a bit like being born again. In back, engineers bolted this 408 horsepower version of Porsche's 3.8-liter flat six behind the rear axle. It's not turbocharged, it's just a highly strung, naturally aspirated screamer of a big six. There are some big performance numbers here, but at first, things don't really sound that way. At low revs, it makes a noise like a dirty old VW bug with an exhaust leak that's about to throw a rod. Of course, that just foreshadows the sound effects waiting for you on the other end of the tachometer. Get the hand-built engine spinning to its 7,300 RPM redline, and the sound is just unreal. The acceleration is wicked, and the exotic howl and explosively peaky high RPM power surge simply add to the experience. Drivers ripping through the gears like Christmas morning wrapping paper are treated to head-pinning acceleration and a one-of-a-kind soundtrack. With the exhaust on its loud setting, everyone within half a mile will hear the 911 GTS's trademark noise playing in their heads for hours. With the engine in the back, the 911 GTS boasts an extremely sticky and planted backside and a lightweight front end that eagerly darts into bends with minimal effort. Nearing its core-ring limits, the rear squirms gently to tell drivers they're pushing their luck, but this is ultimately a performance car with heaps of talent put right at your disposal from the get-go. And sure, there are faster, grippier, and more powerful cars available for the money. Maybe it's no single aspect of this 911 GTS that makes it appealing. Instead, it's the way the acceleration, sound, shifting, handling, and braking all come together at your fingertips. There's a one-of-a-kind driving feel engineered into this thing. You use some muscle and effort to drive it, but man, does it ever leave a smile on your face. Everything about this car is so manly. I mean, you start off putting on this red seatbelt, the shifter's heavy, the clutch is heavy, the steering's heavy, even this e-brake handle, you've got to really rip on it to get it to work. Everything you do in here makes you just want to go, I am man after you're done. It feels fantastic. Complaints? Backseat space aside, taller drivers will wish for more headroom. The white painted center console looks a bit cheap, and shoppers will be shocked at paying thousands of extra dollars for optional equipment like heated seats, a nice stereo, and navigation. If you want to play, you've got to pay, and the as-tested price of about $129 grand backs this up. If you've got the funds, I definitely want a job where you work, because giving this car back is going to be one of the hardest things I've ever done. Another gratuitous sound up, anyone? Thanks for watching.